Calling you a radical. These are the Columbia Stillhead. Now, why the Columbia? 2.5 miles wide, 400 tributaries. It takes in all of this. The whole region flows into the Columbia River. The Stillhead live here in the ocean. They live here. This is where they live. Okay? So they don't live in rivers. They don't live here. They are born here. They spawn here. They come home to die here. They live here. They're dying here. Acutely. And drop your soup can. Obey, consume. Come get your fish sandwich. So let's get to the numbers because this run's about over. Okay? These are stillhead. Now, stillhead, don't give me this shit that stillhead are trout. Stillhead are seagoing. They're salmon. Trout are salmon. Some are landlocked. Trout are salmon. Hello. And Bullwinkle, you here. Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All. What was the name of, what did Rocky say? Call him? Captain Know-It-All here at What's the Matter You? Weber State, the Moose Killers. Well, it wasn't Weber State. Utah, the DNR. He did him in. So, okay, Bullwinkle. Remember when we was kids and all the old, just the know-it-all asses who didn't know anything, we called them Bullwinkles. Well, that's why. You remember the cartoon, Bullwinkle. He thought he knew it all and didn't know none. Okay, Mr. Peabody. Let's get here to the numbers. This is historic stuff. Boy, if they got this site good anymore. It used to be bad. Real bad. Okay, these are the totals for the year. Season's pretty well over. I hope you can see that. 63,000. 63,000. That's pretty good, huh? That's on the verge of extinction. Let's get back here. Okay, let's go to annual totals. By the way, I'll show you why Weber State lost. They've lost 3 home games in a row now. Unheard of. They lost again. The Waters curse. Well, they inducted Ron McBride into the Hall of Fame. Chris Chernus, Chris deserves it big time. And or not Chris, excuse me, Nick. We love Chris too. Anyway, old friend of mine, great old family, but from here. But they turned their back on Trevon Smith. Why? Because he got his brains bashed in by McBride and had mental health issues and got beat to death in a jail cell on the 4th of July last year, 2 years ago. Just 4,000 yards. That's an all-time leading rusher, all-time leading touchdowns in a season in the history of the Big Sky. By far, probably the greatest player that ever played at Weber State. Turn your back. Okay, let's get to Stillhead. And then we'll explore the wild Stillhead, because forget about it. Not dams, not dams. The Jedediah Smith's right here. There's no dams on the Jedediah Smith. They're some of the worst. Now stay with me. 416,000 in 2010, okay? Now remember, full blown out gill netting. They gill net in front of the dam on the Columbia. Gill nets don't lie. The natives get first dibs. By the way, the natives are going to legally be harvesting gray whales right here. Judge ruled it. It's a tradition. Okay. All right. But why not? When the gray whales migrate from here to here, 10,000 miles, and Kevin Blanche is a post-ignorance army, the marine biologist in the high desert of Utah. We counted 312 dead washed ones before COVID, right before COVID. Play that tape, Your Honor. Doesn't the actual work matter? It's like we played Cal Davis last night, the marine biology bar. I was talking to some people from Cal Davis, Laurent Monet's university. You remember when the marine biologist was tragically killed in the car wreck? Yeah, and we were talking about, I says, you know, egghead. Oh, of course, egghead's the greatest. Yeah, we have the signpost. That article they wrote on the moose. Boy, they're the only ones who got it right. I says, you know, those before and after pictures of the upper purple. Yeah, those are mine. Marine biologist in the high desert. Doesn't the work matter? Look at the videos. The tide pool work that I've done is work the same on location. Not sitting around, oh, I'm going to do a podcast on the game. God, I love the Lakers since I was a kid. No, don't you? The world ran by those who show up. I mean, I'm an environmentalist who's never in the environment. Greenwashing machines. Back to the numbers. So they gill netted, and I've been verified through ODFW. I talked to them a lot. That they gill netted well over 400,000 and caught and kept over 400,000 fish. They can legally get about half, and they monitor it and they control it. He says this number in 2010 total with gill netted, stillhead, natives and commercial, and caught and kept 426,000. Okay? Fukushima disasters. They start to die at sea. Big fish eat little fish. You broke the chain. What's photoplankton, kid? What's zooplankton, kid? What did the starfish say to the 60,000-pound humpback? I remember when I wrote Fukushima killed me right here at Half Moon Bay on a well when I walked the entire coast of California with a central line hanging on my jugular, dying of cancer. And a gray washed up dead. I had a paint roller in my backpack because I'm an artist. And in its own blood, I wrote Fukushima killed me. Somebody went, oh my God, Kevin Nash, how can radiation kill a 60,000-pound? I says, I never said it did. What did the starfish, the Upper California purple urchin, say to the 60,000-pound well? Fukushima killed my food. The well replied to the starfish, we too. They ate the same thing. California purple urchin and the gray whale eat the same thing. What? They're plankton feeders. Oh, the killer whales. Yeah, why do you think they're starving up? They eat Chinook salmon, big fish, eat little fish. Kids. Jet stream moves left to right. Bridge landed here at Eugene, Oregon in 6 days. You catch my drift? The California current. The accident happens here. They push into the California current. What do you think the trade wins? Oh, the goods are lined up at the port because they come from China. Get your Amazon stuff. Click, 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 click. In their low-grade fuel. We have the 10 years worth of data now. First, you hypothesize the knowledge is a PhD, Kevin Blanche. These are full-blown out meltdowns at Fukushima. They're lying. It took me a year and a half to convince anybody on Earth there was one. Oh, there must have been people. No, there wasn't. Play back the tape, Your Honor. Play back the tape. First, how about the peninsula right here in Russia? What? That's Russia? Yeah, you can see Russia from Alaska. It almost touches. What? Remember when everything washed up? I says, you'll never hear another word because Greenpeace was in there. Oh, got to be fuel, got to be this, that. Nope. As soon as they realized it was nuclear, the Japanese trench goes through here. The cores broke through, no doubt in my mind. Remember all them videos in the first video? You don't have to understand Russian. You saw it was, first word out of his mouth was Fukushima. Everything washed up dead. The Minister of Environment started to cry. Never seen anything like it. I mean, even the giant octopus were all shot. I told you, you'd never hear another word because the Nuclear Energy Crime Syndicate. They own you. They own your grandchildren. They own your dog. They own your cat. They own freaking the worlds. If Fukushima hasn't proved. So they immediately start to drop. Boom, boom, boom. A little bounce right there in 2014. Oh my God. No gill netting. They cut off the gill netting here. Stopped it. They started going panic mode. No gill netting. 77,000 from 820. No gill netting. No gill netting. Zero gill netting. Pretty well zero fishing in front of the dam. Zero. 77,000 from 826,000. We can do math. Well over 90%. 93% collapse. Let's get back to this year's number. As you can see, the season's pretty well 63,000. Maybe you can't read, so you use graph. Now remember, they go C 1 to 2 years. They can go twice. First time back's half pounders, and Tim Martin, the test nets came up empty again this year. Now we'll get to the wild still head. Maybe. Oh, the graph don't want to work now. You got to be kidding me. So, internet problems. Go figure. Kettle me, I'll kettle you. Is this for real? The graph isn't going to work? For real? Okay, well, we can beat them at their own game. Kettle me, I'll kettle you. Internet kettling. Yay. Who owns the internet? What's 3 branches of government? NSA, CIA, CFR. Okay, we'll beat them at their own game. Roll with the punches. I'm just playing rope-a-dope with the CIA. That's all I'm doing. The NSA and the Nuclear Energy Crime Syndicate. So let's go to the stillhead totals. Okay, let's get to the total stillhead. Not going to give us wild. All right, let's go to annual totals. Very interesting, isn't it? Bonneville. And so I talked to Tim Martin today, and he just called up the Rogue and verified that the Chinook number is 1,800 on the Rogue. He called the hatchery and verified 1,200 on the Rogue for the year. 1,200. You heard me. What did they have in 2010 on the stillhead? 38,000. They have 1,200 today. Jedediah Smith, even worse, and there's no dams on the Jedediah Smith. So, we call them and talk to them. We go there. Okay, let's we can't get the graph to work. That's fine. We can do this, right? Hang in there. To be contemporized is a failure. Okay. Stillhead. Unclipped, so that means wild. Clipped stillhead or hatchery stillhead, right? 70,000. 37,000. From, again, 100. You can double that number because of the gill netting that went on in those years. So well over 300,000 to 37,000. 90% collapse. Okay. Nothing to see. So we got our graph working yet. Maybe they just have a lot of people looking at it. Okay, there's our graph. Now remember, the collapse started immediately, so the 10-year mean is low anyway. Blues last year. So you can see that it runs pretty well over. Okay. So we're well over 90% collapse, and that's the good news. The Fraser's worse. The the Rogue is worse. The Deschutes is worse. The Jedediah Smith, and we have boots on the ground. So let's go to the Chinook. This is the smoking gun, and why this is the smoking gun of Fukushima. Annual total, Chinook adult. We're at 466,000. Remember, very little gill netting. They gill netted for 10 days, I understand, this year. Hardly any fishing at all. It's been emergency closed. So let's go to annual totals. Busy day today. Again, the Bonneville, because it's the beast. It's the biggest by far. Now remember, you can double this number. 677,000. 1.3 million. 1.2 million. Whoa, whoa. 2.2 million.